Hey everyone, we're going to go through the third grade math packet today, page by page. I'll give you some strategies to solve these problems, go through a couple problems on each page so you can go ahead and solve these on your own. At any time you can stop and rewind this video if you need to hear the explanation again. Okay, so the first two pages of the packet are the table of contents. It just tells us what you'll be working on as the weeks go on. For the first 2 weeks, we're really just focusing on practicing multiplication facts, so we're only going to be worried really about this part right here that I've just highlighted. Practicing multiplication facts, going with 0 and 1 all the way up to 9. Okay, so this first page is dealing with multiplication equation using models. So we're just basically going to be drawing pictures to represent our multiplication equations. For number 1 right here, it says 3 times 5 by drawing equal groups of 5. So we're going to go ahead and draw a model to represent the equation of 3 times 5. For 3 times 5, I'm going to go ahead and draw 3 groups. Ooh, that's a big circle. 2, 3. And then in each of my 3 groups, I'm going to make 5 lines or 5 tally marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I've drawn 3 equal groups, 3 purple groups, and I put 5 in each group. They're equal because there's in every group. Not one group doesn't have more, one group doesn't have less. There's 5 in each group. To find my total, all I have to do is add up all of those green lines. So count them up. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So my answer for 3 times 5 is 15. There is a total of 15 green lines or green tally marks. This next one says, show 3 times 5 by drawing an array. An array has equal rows and columns. So I can do this by drawing 3 rows that have 5 in each column. I'm going to do it by drawing X's. So first I'll go through and make my 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. Now remember, my rows go side to side. So this is my first row. I have 1 already drawn. Now I'm going to go through and finish to draw my 5 total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My first row has 5 X's in it. My next row is also going to have 5. So I'm going to fill in 5 more X's. This next row also has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my last row will also have 5. I already have that 1 drawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 3 rows of 5. My first row is right here. That's 1 row with 5 X's. My next row has 5 X's, and my third row has 5 X's. If I count up all of my black X's, I will get a total of 15, again, just like that first problem, because 3 times 5 gives us that total of 15. So where it says complete the equation, 3 times 5, I can go ahead and fill in 15, because let's count up these X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 X's total. For number 2, right here, it says draw an equation, write an equation that matches the array. So here's an array of triangles. It's a little bit neater than my black X's. So right now in this array, I see 2 rows. I'll go ahead and highlight those rows. This is my first row, and this is my second row. So I see 2 rows, and now I need to count how many triangles are in each row. I'm going to go through and count. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my next row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so both my rows are equal. They both have 6, and I have 2 rows. So my number sentence to go along with this equation will be 2 times 6. Now to find that total, or my answer, I have all of those triangles. So I'll let you go ahead and do that on your own. To solve 2 times 6, you're going to count up all of those triangles. The next problem, number 3, says write an equation that matches the picture. So right here I see some circles with stars inside those circles. So this one looks pretty similar to number 1 up here. So go ahead and count your groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 circles. And then you need to count how many stars are in each group to make your equation. So we know that the first part of this equation will be 4 to represent those 4 circles times the number of stars that you see, and then when you count up all of those stars, that's going to get you your total. You're going to go ahead and finish that equation on your own as well. Now the next one says use words to describe problem 3. So all that's asking you to do is just explain how your picture represents the equation that you made. So just explain how the picture is representative of the equation. Moving on to our next page, we'll be multiplying with 2, 5, and 10. So you see just lots of multiplication equations on this page. Your only instruction is to multiply. Over on this first page over here, we went over 2 strategies, 2 drawings that can help you solve multiplication problems. You can use arrays with equal rows and columns, or you can use equal groups. So I want you to choose one of those strategies, or you can mix it up to help you solve these problems. If you're not sure by skip counting, you can use pictures to draw to help you solve. On this next page of the packet, we'll be multiplying with 0 and 1. So to help us solve equations on this page, I want you to think about 2 rules. The first one is any number multiplied by 1 is going to be itself. So let's take a look at problem 1 for an example. It says 3 times 1 equals blank. So 3, I have a number right here, multiplied by 1, if thinking about our rule, is going to be itself. So 3 times 1 equals 3. If I was to draw that in a model like we did on the last page, I could draw 3 groups. 1, 2, 3. And I could put 1 in each group. Oops. 1, 1, 1. And if I count up all those blue dots, 1, 2, 3, I have 3 total. So any number times 1 is going to equal itself. The next rule I want you to think about is any number times 0 equals 0. So let's go ahead and look at that one. This next one, 0 times 7. Any number multiplied by 0 is going to be 0. So our answer for 0 times 7 will be 0. This next one, 5 times 1, I think about my rule. I see 5 multiplied by 1. I know it's going to be itself. My answer will be 5. My next one, 1 times 0. I know any number multiplied by 0 will equal 0. You're going to go ahead and complete this page on your own. The next problem says write two factors to make each multiplication problem true. So I need to pick two numbers to fill in this blank. I have blank times blank equals 5. Thinking about what we've done on this page with 0 and 1, let's see how we can make this number sentence true. Blank times blank equals 5. I know that any number divided by 1 is itself. So I could do 5 times 1 equals 5. That's true. The next one, blank times blank equals 7. Again, I know any number multiplied by 1 is itself, so I can take 7 times 1 equals 7. That's true too. You can go ahead and complete those next two on your own later. This final one says write a digit in the box to make the multiplication problem true, then use words to write about the groups. So we have blank times 0 equals 0. I know that any number times 0 equals 0. So, keeping that in mind, I want you to finish that number sentence on your own later. Remember, any number times 0 is going to equal 0. Remember, at any time also you can stop this video and work on these problems and then press play again and we can go over the next page. But right now I'm going to continue on to the next page where it says multiplying with 3. So we're moving up. We're moving into our 3 times tables. Remember, to solve multiplication problems, you can draw pictures or models like we did on the first page. You can draw arrays or you can draw equal groups. You can also skip count using your fingers. You can also write down your 3 times tables. So I can give you an example on the top. I would start with 3, then I'd count 3 more, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, and I would keep going to help me solve. So there's 3 strategies I've given you to help you solve these multiplication problems. We'll just do number 1 together. 2 times 3. So I can draw a picture, 2 groups, and I can put 3 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When I count up all those black lines, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my answer for 2 times 3 would be 6. I could also have drawn an array, or I can look up here at my times table and know 3 times 1, this would be 1, and this would be 2. So if I count 3 2 times, I would get 6 as my answer. Moving down to the bottom of the page, we have number 21 and number 22. Number 21 says, tell how you could check that your answer to problem 9 is correct. So I would go ahead and find number 9, and in this space I would just describe what strategy I used and why I know that my answer is correct based on the strategy that I used. And number 22 says draw a model to show how you solved one of the problems. So again, you could just draw a model like we did, like I did for number 1 right here, or you could draw an array like we used on the other side, the other page I mean, or you can make a write down your times tables up here as well. These next pages of the packet are very similar to the ones that we did before. We're just using different times tables. This page right here will be multiplying with 4, and the next one will be multiplying with 6. You've been given multiple strategies to solve these problems. Again, you can draw pictures or models, you can draw arrays, which is another example of a model, or you could write out your times table. Write out your times table by skip counting. So for example, 2 times 4, I'm going to skip count 2 4 times. So I'll start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I skip count 2 4 times, I get the number 8. Okay, the next, we're going to skip the rest of this, and we're going to go down here to where it says number 17 and number 18. You're going to complete the rest of the workbook page on your own, the rest of the packet page. Number 17 says tell what strategy you used to solve 6 times 4. So you have number 6 right there. You're just going to write down what strategy you use. Did you draw an array? Did you skip count? Or did you draw a model? Just tell me what strategy you used. Number 18 says draw a model to show how you solved one of the problems. So if you're using skip counting as your strategy, that's okay, but I want you to pick one problem in here and draw a model and show me that model in this space. Moving on to the next page where we're multiplying with 6, it's going to be exactly the same thing, just with different numbers. You're going to either skip count, draw an array, draw a picture, and then for number 17, you're going to tell me what strategy you used to solve 5 times 6. So that's right here for number 1, 5 times 6. What strategy did you use? Write it down. And then number 18, you're kind of looking for a pattern. It says explain how problem 2 and 13 are related. So we're looking now at problems 2 and problems 13, and I want you to tell how they're related. If you look at number 2, it says 3 times 6, and number 13 says 6 times 3. So I see something similar. I want you to tell me what you see similar, and then also make sure you solve those problems, both of them, and see what you notice about the answers as well. The last 3 pages of this packet for these first 2 weeks of online learning are all the same, so I'm just going to go ahead and explain what to do on all of them right here. This first page, we're dealing with multiplying with 7, the next one multiplying with 8, and the last one multiplying with 9. So again, to solve these problems, you're going to use any or all of the strategies that we talked about earlier in this video. What's different about these 3 pages is these ones have the answers at the bottom of the page, but they're all jumbled up. So you still need to go through and solve all of these problems, but after you solve them, you can find the answer in one of these rows down here, and you're going to cross it out. So for example, we'll start with an easy one. We'll start with 1 times 7. We know any number times itself, times 1 is itself. So 1 times 7 equals 7. Once I have that one, I'm going to go through and I'm going to find the number 7. I see it right here. I'm going to cross it out so I know I won't use it again. You'll use all of these answers only one time. So if you'll notice there was a 7 here and there's also a 7, that's okay because that means there's another answer on this page that will also be 7. So again, you should use all of these answers one time. Let's try another one. We'll do number 14. We'll do 7 times 10. I'm going to solve this one by skip counting. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I skip count 7 times and I got 70 as my answer. So I'm going to look over here and I'm going to try to find 70. Oh, I see it right here, so I'm going to cross it out and I'll write 70 as my answer here. Remember, you can use all different strategies to solve these problems, but you'll be looking for your answer at the bottom. And the same will go for the next page when you're working with 8s and the next page when you're working with 9s. I hope this video helped you solve some of the pages in the packet. At any time, again, you can stop this video and rewind if you need any more help. See ya!